Welcome, 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 ladies and gentlemen, to the awesome Premier League NA Lobby 1. Gonna see some really tough squads battling out in a couple of rounds over Erangel today. I am a little fuzzy seal, joined by Cammy D. What's up, Cammy?
Hey, what's up? How you doing?
How you doing, fam? We gangsta up in this awesome Premier League lobby. Yeah, so if you there's a scoreboard, by the way, that exists right now.
Yes.
A couple of the top teams that are on that scoreboard, just people to look out for, are United, Duel, and Render. Those are the top three teams. They have a relatively sizable lead over the rest of the lobby. Definitely not sort of thing that no one can come back from. But just in general, when we're talking about teams, we're talking about the strats they employ. Those are the top three teams that, if you see them in the top first or second place, you can be sure that they will be maintaining their placement on that scoreboard.
Yeah, okay, so what you are tuning into right now is Awesome Premier League, where it's 48 teams, 2 tiers, 3 lobbies. This is Lobby 1, the top tier, the top 16 teams of North America right now, competing in a best of 4 round, or I guess round of 4, because it's not technically not best.
Correct. I always hated best of 4, the best of numbers.
Actually, with Awesome's new scoring system, you could argue that this is best of 4, but nonetheless, they play 4 rounds, and you get points for each of those rounds, but then at the very end of the 4 rounds, the placement based off those points, you will then get points added to your global score based on your ending result. But this first circle of Erangel is pretty southbound, so if anyone wants to go to the north end, it's going to be a bit of a trek. Right now we see a little bit shared space between Purdy from Totality and another member way off in the distance, who's actually
not quite so sure anymore. I think they found themselves a sidecar, so we might see him in the kill feed later on. Actually, right now I see in the top right, someone got a roadkill at some point, and that is the finishing. We got 73 instead of 74 numbers. Looks like a bit of an issue happened here near Gatka, the player out driving off to the west. Can't even find the smear. There's nothing left of him, can he?
Absolutely decimated, blown into smithereens. And then just look at this psychopath, not even blinking an eye. For Juicy going straight in, just continue to loot like nothing ever happened. But wow, this is an interesting circle.
Yeah, so this was we didn't talk about it too much, but the plane did go west to east, favoring the south coast, and this is not that, Cammy. This is about this is actually about as far as you could get from pretty much any players that dropped here. And the really awkward thing about this zone as well is that there's enough water in play that it would be very unlikely, but is still possible that later in the game, the zone could still flip south. So you might see guys hiding in Georgia Pool a lot. You might see guys hiding around and exterior compounds. But either way, when it comes to Georgia Pool, especially Zarky on the northwestern coast, not many people play there that often. It's going to be very interesting when we get to the late game here.
Yeah, this is actually, I think, the area of the map that the circle kind of goes to the least often. It goes to the corners the least. Like, and considering there is, if you're looking at South Africa Island, there is no southeast or southwest corner. So it does make sense why Zarky and Stauber are the 2 areas that have the least often. And Zarky being the peninsula that it is, it feels even kind of weirder when you're in this area because of that bay that comes in on Georgie. So this is very unusual. What?
We already have some guys from MLGB actually going all the way around. This is really smart from them. Not only are they going to be avoiding a lot of this early game fighting, but we can only assume that they're probably heading to Zarky based on their current heading. So not only will they be able to, they're using a little bit of the early game time, just removing themselves from the game so they're not dying. That's good. And they're also going to be able to loot an area that is in the next zone. So yeah, they might not be centered up after circle 1, but they will be safely kitted in circle 1, which, given what the place that we are at, is not a thing that a lot of other teams can say, Cammy.
Well, the thing is, they only put 1 person in that boat. You can see 2 people on a vehicle making their way across the Georgia Pole Bridge, and 1 person even at the south edge of the current zone. They're lucky that no one is camping that bridge, though, because this is the other thing to note about this part of the map with this particular circle, is that those bridges are basically dead center. If anyone wants to camp them, it could be really devastating anyone trying to travel back and forth. It's not going to be too important on just this first circle. If the circle continues to basically center in on itself right now on top of this bay on these bridges, we are going to see how impactful they are leading into circle 3, 4, 5 around that area. For right now, it's not too much to worry about, but it is something you got to keep in the back of your mind, particularly on the far right one because of that really powerful compound.
Hold up. Totality. That's not... These 2 guys aren't the same team. What's going on here? We see Lush on the first floor and Purdy on the top. Looks like Purdy missing a couple of rounds on the M16. has probably fired them at Lush at some point. This happens a few times with this awkward 1v1s, but right here, the difference here is that Totality has some enemy reinforcements coming in on the way, getting out at the Wizard Tower. Watts going over there, getting behind it, but Purdy here is going to be in a rough situation if even more reinforcements show up.
I don't like how Watts went to the tower, because now it's just going to be kind of, in a way, two isolated 1v1s. If Purdy doesn't peek the tower, if the tower doesn't get shots, it's still dangerous for Lush to take this fight, unless he wants to go up the stairs by himself. But yeah, you see Watts coming right now. They're going to do a 2v1 push on the roof, or at least that's should be expected from Purdy. And so this is going to make it difficult for Purdy to try and live.
Lush got the AK and UMP definitely enough close range. They're checking all their corners, crossing all their T's, dotting all their I's. Purdy holding one of the tightest of all angles. Will they see him there?
Should. He definitely hears him now, shooting through the door. A little crack to peek out. Purdy's going to peek and return. Nice. He gets drop onto Watts. Lush not there immediately to trade. That's the downside to breaking over that tight corner, because the trade is not going to be able to come through. Instead, Lush is...
Okay, so Purdy hasn't reloaded yet, though. So he had 23 rounds before he has 4 right now. I don't think he has any more ammo. And look, closing the door as well. He has no ammo left.
He's going to toss a grenade down as well, but the runaway is going to happen. Lush peeking back up through. Lush not exactly sure what he wants to do at this moment. He's waiting just because sound can be a little awkward at times. He's just worried about Purdy potentially jumping up, which is always an issue, and it looks like that is maybe going to be what happened. Or maybe just got on an off angle. Who knows at this point. But Lush trying to fake out, opens the door. See if he can't get a sound cue coming out from Purdy. Which Purdy drops down just to close it again.
Purdy does have the backup pan here if he needs to use it. But right now, as long as Lush is holding this angle, Purdy can't really move it. Here's the push, or at least the bait. He's just opening and closing the door. Okay, yeah, Lush has had enough of that, San. No more doors for you.
I think Purdy may have a pistol inside the weapon. Oh, Lush not expecting the peek out. A lot of damage traded, but again, running out of ammo. No option but
chasing down with the pistol.
Yep. Whoa, no. Jesse Lowell actually, I think.
He won! Purdy just beat Lush in a 1v1 against an AK with a handgun after running out of ammo in his M16.
Well, it was all thanks to timing. Once the door was absolutely blown up, that ended up going against Lush's favor, because now he didn't have a sound cue of the push being down the stairs once he had a few footsteps of sound. But now looking on Venerated, he's taking a long range fight against someone else across the hill, landing a couple of shots, not sticking too hard just in that tree. He wants to push up close because he wants to group up the rest of his teammates. Doesn't want to stay too isolated.
Well, his teammates are making a big push right now. Wooly might be able to get this first AK off Caden right here, spotting him on that tree and gunning him down. Only one player left up here. Looks like Wooly's teammate, Wooly now being dead, is probably going to want to run away. But look how close there in the minimap. Actually, whoever that is on NV's close to the south, sneaking right by Venerated. But will Znark get spotted here?
He probably will, yep.
Will.
I expected Venerated to spot him, but it looks like another team. Oh, he's got 5 HP. He's
so
got to keep running. But yeah, there's really no way out of this. Cover, hide behind. You see him trying to crane his neck around to spot someone, and Venerated?
What?
Venerated.
All right.
Venerated. Oh, no, he gets shot return, loses his helmet. Is he going to spot him now? No, but now his eyes are all set towards the backup from Duel.
No way. Does Znark heal here?
Out. Znark's out. I mean,
no
at least in the meantime,
way.
he's proning down, bandaging up, using medkits and medicine. No, he's got a helmet, damaged body armor. All he has is bandages.
Yeah, he only has bandages. His teammate from about 200 meters away saving his life. Envy says, well, look at this. They're falling back. They're going back north. They don't want to go into it. Could be a squad just decimating fight. They already have their combat, but it might have been too late already, as Rush and EU United are to their north. Will a fight break out, or will they get back to their combat in time? It's kind of hard to tell. Looks like Rush wants to play a little bit more passively. United as well, getting in their cars. It looks like that these guys, despite being mere like about 100 meters away from each other, are not too keen on taking any engagements quite yet. But the real question is, do they even know that each other are there right now?
It's hard to tell. Once again, this is a very, very unusual spot on the map to be on. Don't know how familiar these players are with the terrain. I can certainly say that I am not as familiar here, but interesting to see that almost everyone except Totality are favoring the northern part of this split with that river, which is not surprising considering that the majority of the circle is on the northern end.
Mm-hmm.
And I was talking about this on EU as well. It is easier to transition the other way through, but ooh, a little drive up. Okay, there we go.
Yeah.
Planned.
Yeah, those cars flip a couple times, but as long as they're still rolling, as long as they got momentum going, you should not flip them. Says the guy who always flips his cars, but don't pay too much attention to my track record there. But these guys, the really big question is, where are they going to go? You already see that a lot of the hills and pretty much every compound at this point is already occupied. We saw MLGB go over there to Zarky previously as well, which currently appears to be where Lightshow and the rest of his squad mates on Ignite PUBG appear to be going, but okay, they do have a couple of teams, iMossy and Steel Green, who already have their own compound, so they at least will be okay. But anyone who shows up after them, I'm very worried if they'll have a place to go.
Yeah, and that's always the concern around here. No one wanting to take residence, or very few want to take residence in North Georgia itself, because as we all know, urban environment is the hardest to get out of if you do have to. Especially if there are multiple people involved, multiple squads involved. With Soko here, he definitely hears E United moving around. He's got his sights trained just at the peak of that hill. Don't know how forward E United are going to want to push to look around themselves. Moving vehicles around right now to set up as good of a car forward, or as well as keeping those wheels safe. That's the important thing. It's still the first circle, so they want to keep those wheels alive as long as possible so they can easily transition if the circle swings against them.
Speaking of which, that circle is just about done. Only a few seconds left before it pops, and we're seeing right here one of the best compounds on the map. It's pretty centered up. Envious being able to grab it. The main issue is, as we can see, big hill around it, which many teams have taken up residence. Envious will have a very hard time leaving if they do have to. But what I'm really worried about here is that is right here, United. If they peek just a little bit too far out to the east, they'll spot these players on the hill. But ooh, Rush right here. If Vegas just looks down here,
Vegas was spotted. Filthy has his eyes trained on him, or at least does know that he's there. Don't know if he can get the exact angle that we can with this camera that's a little further back.
Yeah, the thing with United is that they're shooting a lot, right? So they're not trying to be quiet. But Russia's spot, it is definitely just strategically worse. They can see much less. They have very little cover. They have the low ground. They can't really do much here. And look at this, the way they're playing. They're not looking for a fight. They're not trying to shoot up there. They just want to, maybe the play is here for us to just allow United to just protect them. And then maybe they can... United can win the fights for Rush.
Okay, I like this circle. Second circle updated, and even though it's not dead center, this is actually basically what most of the teams are playing for, considering it cuts out the entire bottom, the river, essentially. And so everyone but Totality, who is the only team that stayed on the south around Ruins area, they basically played for a circle just like this. There's a little bit of coast still involved, but that's okay because you know it's not going to end in the water.
A couple of transitions coming out on the east side of the map. Nova, as well as a couple guys from the Moody squad making the way on the east. Still a couple of compounds that are open right now, as well as a couple of guys that are swimming it in Georgia.
Straight swimming, not even.
Yeah, I mean it's safe, right? Right? It's safer.
I mean it's true. And actually, this does help them a little bit because now this circle, because they're able to get on top of the beach of Georgia Pole. But a fight breaking out here finally between United and Rush, and it's going to be Soko that gets taken out
as well.
United does lose someone in return too, but that's Filthy down. That's 2 down for Rush. MLGB coming in. Are they taking part of this light show as well?
Yep. Rush is getting flanked from their west side. This is a huge pinch here coming out. I think only one player up. Yeah, it's just Borjosi.
Now Cloud9 are chiming in from the north as well, straight on to MLGB.
Envy's coming in as well from the south. There's a huge fight happening here in the middle. Envious, I'm very surprised to see them leaving this compound. United did not suffer any losses here throughout this entire fight. Only one player from Rush trying to survive here. But meanwhile, you see, yep, Frolicker just completely decimating MLGB. They went all around the map to Zarky. And now, look at this. I think there's only, what, one player up left?
It's looking like that, but yeah, Cloud9 here have to worry because there is another team just north of them. Oh, is he gonna go
look
up
at the
soon?
rounds. Just kicking up left and right. He's trying to get in the bike. What were you going for? Oh,
yeah,
man, does not even move 2 meters before he just gets a shot off. But as you were worrying about, they're getting flanked from the north now by EG, but only with 2 players. And now they're getting pinned from their west.
By Ignite.
There's so many flanks here.
Everyone wants a little piece of this hill. This is a lot of early game action happening right now, but the team Rush does keep one person alive. It's actually MLGB that was the first squad to go out in this first game. Now it's Frolicker here. He's aware of EG's existence. So he's peeking up front. They have a little defilade to hide their vehicles in. It's going to peek out from behind.
The big question here is that do they know that EG only has 2? It looks like Nomi actually falling back to the north, just going where they know is secure. This is probably a smart play when you know your number. You don't want to be picking a fight like that when you only have 2 players up.
Yeah, and this is actually not a bad place to hold as well. They have that ridge that you saw Nomi hide behind. So you can do some decent work there. Can poke out if people do start to push in on their position. Oh, a second team.
This isn't good. You already have squads that are on that little hill right there. If he beaches right here, then he's going to be in trouble. His teammate already did as well, as you can see from the minimaps. Someone from Squad 12 that should be shoot to kill over that has already beached. This is very worse. And the question here is that, are these guys looking for a fight? Looks like Vape checking his east side. Looks like he might be, but just doesn't see Wizwiki.
The blue's coming in right now, and so both these teams don't want to take this fight. They want to run and maybe get to a better position. But you see Dat Coco here is going to stop and wash.
Oh, this is so dangerous.
Shoot to kill, push up, but the timing may be in shoot to kill's favor because Dat Coco, well, he's now pushing forward. He wants to take this fight. He's not running directly into the safe zone, but he may be running a little too far out. Lower drops immediately, and Dat Coco's going to try and trade back. Doesn't know what exactly he...
On the other side of the hill.
Sees the ghillie suit, gets the down. But now the blue is continuing to come in. They're trying to secure the kill. There was no pickup that was going to happen, but nonetheless, some from the distance, Wizwiki. Shots onto Dat Coco, but can't find a down just yet.
His teammates just have beach from the southwest side. There could be a big pinch coming out here, but either way, no one wants to take a fight in the blue like this. You have to figure out if you want to take this fight or just keep going. But one player, Zendrix, has stayed behind his team to the west. They thought it was clear, but not at all. This huge no man's land just killing so many players, being a huge thorn in the side of everyone coming in from Squad 12 here. And now it's just one, I think, yeah, only one player left alive. The guy who made it, Georgie, died as well. What is the play here? There's like nowhere you can go in this entire hillside. You just gotta drive your boat away, I think.
Yeah, and you're gonna be eating a lot of blue while that happens. Hope you have a lot of meds. I'm Big K here from Havoc. Gonna try and gatekeep that edge of the blue. They don't have too far for them to run to get into the third zone. Sorry. And it does look like Luminosity are going to be able to make their way into the blue, eating a lot of damage. And I like how they left Zentrex behind to watch over the remaining player of
sounds so
shoot
mean
to kill.
say.
No, it's just because it's good they left them behind so they don't get stabbed in the back. That's always something that teams have been more and more aware about, is that just because they enter in late doesn't mean that there's someone even later than them. Aux here, able to make his way into the blue, just barely using the boat, getting on the beach. He's going to have to go through the George Pole, but it should be pretty safe to him as naturally everyone has left that position right now.
Looks like they're trying to make their way in, but looking around, it looks like they've been able to find themselves a safe spot on the west side of the zone. I'm not sure if everyone else can say the same, though, because the west side, yeah, it's not going to be as popular, but the closer you get to the south, the more and more teams will be there. And already right now, you see the bottom of our map right now, Squad 4 and 15. Actually, just look at that Pentalol on the southeast side, just getting someone walking right up on him. And with all those hills, D-Master does not even know that there's a squad literally 10 meters in front of him.
Oh, shots being fired out, so now he knows. He didn't know. Now he knows. Xanark here trying to... Gets one down, gets the full-on kill as well. But unfortunately, we saw just earlier, his teammate was dropping. His second teammate now immediately dropped as well. Trying to rush forward to get a better forward position, to get a trade, or at least a revive.
It's just him. All his squadmates have been killed, but oh no, that left arm...
Not going to allow
a little bit. That was actually a really good push. I think they only lost one, if any.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, they did lose one, but there's still 3 of them left alive from Pecadors. They're going, but here comes Luminosity making their way onto the mainland, getting so close into the zone. But look, Havoc, and look, this player trying to make his way onto the side with the flank. Microstar, is he known? They got a couple of smokes thrown out. I believe those were potentially thrown out by Luminosity, but Soltech gets an initial drop onto Vape. Coco peeking up, try and trade, but don't know if you're going to be able to stop the kill from coming on through. Yeah, Dat Coco just going to stay prone in the bush. Don't know if he was spotted out just yet. He definitely wasn't seen, or else shots would have been taken onto him already. He has his sights trained on where Microstar's position was.
There's only... They only have a little bit longer. Zentrix over to the north should be able to assist his teammate a little bit. With Dat Coco, the strat they went for, it feels like they're already dead. You know, the odds weren't insanely against their favor. It would have been I think a 3v3. It would have been a horrible fight for them. But by taking this strat, especially outside the white, you're really putting the game into someone else's hands. And Saltzcaf and the rest of his teammates over on Havoc have been more than willing to, well, do exactly that. Just take the easy fight that a squad is throwing at them.
So it all depends on what exact angles Eccentrix has, but if he were to go and try and lay some shots onto Havoc, could allow Dadkoko to have a fighting chance to get out, but right now Dadkoko has no choice but to just hang out in the blue, and he has no meds, only 3 bandages. So I don't know exactly what he can do, and all he's doing right now is hoping that Havoc look away when he peeks out, which seems like they stopped looking at his position right now, but even so, oh, no, wait, no, they're still looking directly at his position. They're expecting Luminosity to still be alive, at least one member in this field. And Zentrix is not helping out at all. They're basically just 2 isolated solo players now.
I think that Zentrix should probably not assist with this. It's a 2v3.
At this point, it's lost.
You lost so many people going in, but ooh, look at this on the west side, actually. We're seeing some pretty big transitions already. Oh, that Coco moves in. Yep, definitely just dying right away. Zentrix is not going to do anything. Knows for sure that no one's left to save. But looking at this, a couple of teams already moving in on the western side, on the south side as well. When leading the way for his team, saw some heroic plays in this, man, once upon a time. But right now, leading the way, spotting out Venerated, pulling up with the UAZ. Quinn spotting out, getting some shots out there. Venerated does not have his team to back him up, but does have good cover that will force Win back for now.
And tried to trade some shot in return, but he gets nailed right in the shoulder. Dropped down to about, let's see, 55 HP. It's gonna heal up relatively easy from there, and there he comes. Here comes backup for his teammates of Envious. Drops 1. It's a fallen kill, and now he's gonna go and get closer to his teammate.
All right. Meanwhile, on the western side, a bit of a 3-way fight occurring actually, with I believe that's about 3 squads participating in that. Yeah, over here, DMAS. It looks like they lost one while that was going on, so I'm looking to back away from that. But there's still one squad that has to move in from the encroaching blue. Actually, a lot of these guys do. So a lot of these fights, they're kind of being teased. Yeah, they're realizing that they have to take this fight. Caden taking a very aggressive spot will get punished for it immediately. Smurf, though, does take some damage for it. Oh, but look at that, a huge flank coming up from the eastern side. This Zanva and the rest of his guys seeing some guys in the open and being more than happy to just obliterate anyone that they can who's in the open. For now, though, it looks like that Smurf and DMS are still okay somehow. The fight will continue 2v3. Caden was finished off. Envious, what is your play here? Do you play more passive, or do you try to go for the push? It looks like they're just playing their side of the hill, maybe even just driving away completely to somewhere else.
Yeah, they tried to go for a more aggressive position, but it was capitalized upon. They weren't aware just how close those 2 players were to breach upon them, those 2 from Pecadors. And instead of fighting for that control again, they now just back away and go back inside the compound. They basically are relegating the loss, their map control. Now they have no choice but to just try and play safe and hope that no one comes up upon them, and then have to fight their own way in rather than keep others out. And that's going to mean that these 2 remaining members of Pecadors, even though, as you said, they were shot at from their east side, are going to be alive for now. Havoc, you can see, swinging up over EG, where the 3 remaining members of them still alive for now, up against all 4 of EG. But they had to go for this fight. They can't sneak around them. They got to fight this. Microstar going forward, trying to find a sneaky angle, a couple of smokes being thrown out by the teams to assist in vision and sight lines. Mortify now. I actually put this in Havoc's favor if it weren't for the man count. But look at the spread that they're able to do. They're able to breach upon this. But an immediate drop on one of their teammates, and Soltech takes 1 huge bullet. And now he's going to be taking a little bit from the blue as well, trying to medkit up. Yeah, they didn't go fast enough, and he's down to 3 HP. Can he even heal in time? The blue going to tick him out. And yep, that's the play zone, wiping out the rest of Havoc. EG, time was on their side just barely.
Quite a few teams have made their way into this very, very bloody zone. 11 teams, 30 alive. 30 alive right now.
Okay, United, we get that you're number 1, but you really got to give us the circle landing right on top of you. The only team inside, I say that right as Nova takes literally 2 steps to get inside the safe zone of their own. They also have the bunker tunnel to deal with.
Yeah, so they could actually play as aggressively or passively as they want. Dip inside or actually play up top and try to prevent people from moving.
You don't want to fall fully back in, because that means it can just get plugged. But still, having that cover, they can go back to heal up if necessary, does give you some options to play around. You're not stuck in the middle of a fight if you do start to lose it.
Yeah, well, there's only 3 seconds left, so there are a couple of squads on the southwestern side that will have to move in. Envious is in probably one of the worst spots right now, as they do have a squad on the northwest and their south. Meanwhile, Seal Green, the rest of the guys over on Ignite, making their way into the west side. They will be able to get there with relative ease. D-Master, who took this hill from Envious earlier, has been happy enough to sit here, but right now, Envious crossing by right in front of them. D-Master just simming up for getting ready for the journey. They have not yet spotted Venerator or anyone else here. D-Master and Smurf now actually just waiting for the zone to be walking it in.
Oh, they think Envious is still they think Envious is still the comp, but they don't see them leave. Maybe now Smurf can stop him once he goes over this hill.
Uh-oh.
He just doesn't matter because Cloud9 actually catches him out. That's a full spray down. That's a lot of damage lighting up the scoreboard. Check Shooter here, trying to trade out some in return. He gets a little bit of damage and he gets dropped as well.
Goodness.
Now it's just, I believe, one remaining from Envy. Nope.
Yeah, and if you're D-Master, you're pretty much certain that you do not want to take that route, but there really isn't any way to go for them. Maybe they can play a little bit sneakier here, but oh, look at this. They're driving away. No, it's just a car for D-Master. You don't want to walk into this, buddy.
They have no choice. They got to go for a fight, and they're hoping that once Cloud9 took out Envious, oh, wait, we have control of this side. Joke's on you. There's still 2 remaining members of Pecadors, and they're slow walking it up. Not spotted at all. Gets the spray down, gets the first initial drop, tries to go for a second, but gets dropped in return. And now it's just up to Smurf to try and clutch this out. 1 versus 3. He's behind the same rocks here. He could go for a revive if he wanted to. Looks like that. Oh, he's going to heal himself first. But now that Cloud9 have this knowledge, you see Frolicker going on the wide flank around on the back end.
Looks like Fractus and Frolic are the only ones up. Moody is going for the Moody's down, but his teammate going for the revive. Looks like no one too keen on interrupting this fight. It's just going to be a strip 2v3 for now. But the zone will eventually force this rock out. And with Moody getting the revive here, this is definitely looking really bad for Smurf and D-Master.
Yeah, that rock is just barely outside. Tossing a couple of smokes allowed him to get in to take a fight that's inside the safe zone, but some sprays on through aren't exactly going to connect. They're just going to try and bolt directly under this hill. This will give them a little bit of cover, but who knows who's going to be able to spot them from the other end of the safe zone. They're not even sticking around to go for this fight. They want to just get as central as possible, find some terrain to actually play with and use for some good cover. But swings north away from them. This is not what they want, and it is still on E United.
That is so good for E United. The only other team that's even in a position to contest them is really Nova and the rest of the guys on the west side on Ignite. They could contest, but everyone else needs to have a lot of fighting to really clear out the south side of the zone, or else they're just going to walk in and just have a completely chaotic fight as they all just have to run and gun in. Looks like, though, Himasi leading the way for his squad is a little bit more interested on what's inside the zone. They have parked themselves on the west side of the hill. They have a big hill between them and EU United, so there is no fight being forced just yet. But right now, they're just making sure that no one comes in from the south. This is actually pretty smart. They still know there's 19 alive. That's a lot more than one squad can reliably take with a gunfight. But once they do that hill, pretty much everyone will be able to see them.
Your boy Dre gets dropped from across the hill. Murphy gets the full on down with that. Oh no, those your boy Dre got dropped, but it was his teammate does get fire some shots out in return. Now he's gonna try and duck and weave, get behind some more trees. But now here comes C9 to the party. It's a 3-squad fight. Moody gets the drop. I believe that's Pecadors now out.
Was a 3-squad fight.
Was a 3-squad fight. Pecadors now out, going out in 6th place. But now C9, now the Blues closing on their back, they're gonna continue to make the run in. They want to be the first into the safe zone before they take this fight.
I'm not sure if you should be competing for first here. United is right there with all their rifles.
They don't know
south.
that.
In some ways, you want to compete for a second. But yeah, right now, Fraxis, he's trying to get his gun east, trying to trade some shots, but will not be winning that little battle right there. Your boy Dre and Zampa making the way. A lot of smoke grenades will be coming out, but not quite enough to shroud their mood. A lot of smokes being used nowadays. But looking right now, Nova now, they've been pretty quiet all game. 5 kills total for their squad. They are now spotting players, not even United, but players over United right now, trying to actually do them a little bit of a favor. And it looks like they're holding this position very, very well, mostly away from all the fighting right now.
Yeah, to get inside the safe zone, they're going to have to go down that hill, which means that Nova are going to have a really, really good sight line onto them from that tiny little shack that they have in their favor. It's the only hard cover outside of United's bunker that they're using.
C9 in a really bad spot right now. One player making their way in, but immediately dying. In fact, I think it's just them all going down. Yep. So right now, definitely, if you're Nova United, you're feeling pretty good right now. But there is a player or a flank coming in on the northeast side, but immediately getting punished for it. Your boy Dre does not even have time to get any shots at before. I think that was Imasi from a completely different angle takes him out. This is really, really hard for your boy Dre and the rest of those guys over on Tempo Storm. They have probably the worst drain in the entire zone.
Yeah, it looks like they have I think the ground from them between them and EU United is slightly covering them up so they can just stay prone down. But let's see where this next zone goes. See who's gonna have to fight for
It's gonna be
what.
very telling.
Yeah, and oh,
Okay.
it
Nova
actually
just got screwed over by that one.
yeah, it actually helps out Ignite. I'm not against their position right now. EU United, they're also obviously still in their best spot because that exit is still in the safe zone. But Mortify, the rest of his teammates, could take out Nova when they have to try and make their way in because they are right against the edge of the blue. They're going to have to make a long trek through over open field. So Nova, they're going to have to fight if they want to get anything above 4th at this point.
They are playing this pretty smart, though. They know that there's a squad that will be able to push them a lot. They're actually shooting this UAZ until it detonates, rolling down. That was their only source of cover, and behind us is only the blue. There's no cover on that hill for Ignite as the UAZ rolls away here. The problem with Nova's current spot is that by getting this far, yeah, they've gotten one squad off their back, but United is still right in front of their way in, as well as your boy Dre and his buddies who are going for full-out snake strats, trying to sneak their way in. Both of these players, these teams, and the way they're playing are going to completely screw Nova over and getting in.
Oh, yeah. Nova, oh, it looked like he was trying to go on a little search for Tempo Storm.
Done shrinking.
Yeah, they're done shrinking right now, and it's going to be a 3-man snake from Tempo Storm, sneak their way through. And I think Ignite PUBG are going to be doing a similar strat. No, they're not even thinking they're just going to full out run using a little bit of deflate. They are hidden from Nova as well as EU United. This actually isn't a terrible path that they aren't spotted out, but look at they are.
Big shots coming out here. I think only one player makes it in. Zampa gets over here, but Nova eliminates everyone else. Maluk going down as well. Zampa just prone, literally using his friend as cover. United actually not playing aggressively at all here, letting people walk right up to them. Maluk could get revived here, and Nova, they've gotten far enough that they actually have a little bit of a crest, a little bit of like a little downhill slope they can use as cover right now.
But look at this split now by Ignite. They're going a 2-2 separation, trying to gain control of the zone. We do have to pick up Mossy. We did get down. But here was Light Show throwing out some shots towards Nova. Oh, misses them and actually takes a lot in return. And now Nova's continue to push on his position. They drop CeeLo Green. Can they finish the second player of this split?
Nope. Yep.
Well, they finish him. Yeah, they do finish him. So now Nova actually control the north side of the map.
So this 2-2 split is not working out at all. It's caused a 2v3 and 2v4, and they're losing both of them. Only Mortify up because caught out of cover, and there's just no chance. Nova against United. Actually, United, as they walk out, getting hugely damaged by the remnants of Tempo Storm. They were able to get finished off, but now United, with one player down, low HP, they're going to use all their resources to heal and get everyone up. Whereas Nova, now they've identified that United have fallen back into this tunnel, have a huge advantage. Is there even a chance to get out of this one?
Unless Nova missed their shots, they actually stole first place from EU United. EU United didn't play aggressively enough. They didn't try and maintain control. They just wanted to let the bunker do the work, and now they're caught out in it. Luckily for them, there's no vehicle for Nova to use to plug it and just basically sign their death sentence. But in any case, look at this crossfire that they have. Anyone exits, it's immediately all 4 guns trained on their position.
Look at this, even Richie on the high hill, just making sure, yep, no snakes. Is this all that's here? All right, just be covering this spot, clearing everything. They're making sure that nothing is left a chance. They know that they have such a good advantage winning this fight. Even Landoon prone about as far as he can probably barely see through the grass from his angle. The zone is going to do most of the work here, but he actually gets hit by the zone.
Oh, that's the blue.
Can't say, a bit of a bad planning right there, but there is still Nerfy Police who's here covering the tunnel. This is rough, however you put it.
Yeah, United need to hit their shots the minute they come out of the accident. They can't wait too much longer. Vegas trying to peek out. Takes a lot return. Wasn't expecting that angle. Was looking
here's the zone.
Towards his west and up. Here's the zone. Taking out a lot of them. Taking out all of them. There. They down. Nova win the very first game.
Nice.
Today's best of 4 series. With 10 kills, it's a little on the lower end as far as first place finishes are concerned. But that's probably because there was a lot of action happening throughout a lot of the mid game. Oh, yep. Well, showing those numbers just to prove my point. But in any case, Nova, we were talking about how their position was actually very bad on like the second to last circle. But part of it has to do with the fact that Ignite, they kind of let them walk in. That 2-2 split, I said I liked it at first, but it ended up working against them because they couldn't hit their shots, allowed themselves to get run over in that 3v2 by Nova, as well as EU United not playing aggressively enough either to punish that run as well. So
the stars really did align for Nova. Like,
well, they also
didn't have
worked
to happen.
Well, they also worked it though. Like, let's not take away from them. They definitely earned this #1 finish, hitting all their shots, and they took the control. Like, they took the moments that they saw available for them to grab, and they went for it. So they're going to be your winners of the very first game. We do have 3 more games coming up. It is a best of 4 series tonight. So definitely don't go anywhere. We're going to go through a short break while we get lobby number 2 set up, round number 2. And so you're definitely going to be back from that.